So a few weeks ago we talked about the Clone Conspiracy, the new Spider-Man event from writer Dan Slott about a lot of previously deceased Spider-Man characters coming back via cloning. One of those characters coming back is Gwen Stacy. We also did a video on her specifically returning. And last week, the first issue of the event was released, the Clone Conspiracy Issue 1. In it, we learned there's a new pharmaceutical company claiming to be able to cure any and all ailments when really, they're just cloning people. And that's all we really know so far. Issue 1 was pretty much just the setup issue, telling us what the story is gonna pretty much be about. It had some surprises like Gwen and Doc Ock showing up, but other than that, not much happened. However, this is just the main story. If we're talking about the backup story that occurred in Clone Conspiracy Issue 1, then yeah, there's something to talk about there because it pretty much rewrites a very important part of Spider-Man's history. So in the backup story to Clone Conspiracy 1, we get a second story called The Night I Died, which is all about Gwen Stacy's final moments before she was killed. The twist this time is that everything is from Gwen's perspective, from her kidnapping by Green Goblin all the way up until her death. Hence the title of this particular short story. The original was called The Night Gwen Stacy Died. This is The Night I Died. And the big revelation of this story is that while they're on top of the Brooklyn Bridge, or George Washington Bridge if you're Stan Lee and you can't tell bridges apart, we find out that Gwen was conscious the whole time. She was immobile due to the effects of the goblin gas, but she can hear and see everything going on. And it's here where she finally learns that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. This is a big deal. For the longest time, Gwen blamed Spider-Man for the death of her father, Captain George Stacy. So to find out that the man you loved also might be the man responsible for your father's death and then dying only a few seconds after that, that's really heartbreaking, especially since this seems to reinforce the theory that she died when Spider-Man tried to web her and she snapped her neck back, that he accidentally kills her. Now that she's back with all her memories intact, including this new one, it sort of makes her partnership with the villain of the story, Anubis, start to make sense a little bit. She'll want to get revenge on Peter for lying to her. She still thinks he's the man who killed her father. And on top of it, killed her too, kinda. But here's the thing. Anubis finally convinces her to join his side by introducing her to her newly alive father. And assuming that he was brought back using the same exact method as Gwen, he should have all of his memories intact as well. And while he doesn't do so in this issue, I'd imagine he's gonna tell Gwen that Spider-Man is not responsible for his death. Spider-Man tried to save him, and with his last breath, he specifically asks him to look after Gwen, and he specifically calls him Peter when he does that. This cannot be ignored. Captain Stacy was one of the biggest Spider-Man supporters up until when he died, so to not include this would be a disservice to these characters and to the legacy of this story. And this shouldn't be something that gets brought up at the end either. I'd imagine this is something that gets brought up fairly quickly between a newly reunited father and daughter. Because to say in Gwen's final moments she's feeling angry and betrayed by Peter Parker just makes a sad story that much sadder, and Spider-Man doesn't need any more sorrow in his life. Also, I assume Gwen's not going to survive this arc, that's just what her characters become, so to not fix this would kind of be a move, Dan Slott. Or maybe this is all a ruse and Captain Stacy told Gwen already what happened. And maybe she's playing a double agent, manipulating Anubis to try to help Peter from the shadows. Who knows? The backup does take place before the main story of Clone Conspiracy. And maybe there'll be more backups in the rest of the series to explain what's going on. The series is only one issue in, but this is a hell of a way to get me interested. I'm going to be keeping my eye on the Clone Conspiracy up until its conclusion. I want to see where this goes. You would think, out of all the clone stories that Spider-Man's already been through, that they would have used every single idea, but this is something pretty new, and I'm excited for it. But what do you guys think about the Clone Conspiracy and this new wrinkle in the Gwen Stacy story? Do you like it? Are you intrigued, or does this completely turn you off? Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. I know people give Dan Slott a lot of crap for a lot of the things he's done. I've given him crap too, but I personally don't hate him. I think he's done a lot of really good Spider-Man stuff, a lot of really bad Spider-Man stuff too, but he's been writing the book a long time. It might be time for him to take a break or just at least let somebody new have a chance at it. Maybe this will be a swan song. If all goes well, this could be a good way to say goodbye to the character he's been working for, I think 7 years now. Of course, we got new videos every Tuesday and Wednesday night, Wulff Den Live, our live YouTube show. Come talk to us 9 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, no problem. It goes up the next day. Also in audio format on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Everywhere you want to be. Like Visa. And of course, like if you like, subscribe if you really like, share this video with a friend. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. For those of you who don't know, or maybe just heard the title and don't know what the big deal is, the Clone Saga was a major ongoing Spider-Man epic released between 1994 and 1996 and spanned every ongoing Spider-Man title at the time. It is considered to be, without hyperbole, the single worst thing to ever happen to Spider-Man.